and so many ways that you can serve. And so speaking of serving, here I want you to think about, how do you want to impact? So with what you love, what do you want to create? Do you want to create certain challenges? Do you want to create guides, retreats, academies? Do you want to expand your business into a different way or into a different arena that you haven't thought of before? You want to add in dance. You want to add in being, an athlete, just some other way you can serve. And not only in the aspect of creation, but also where do you want to impact in the sense of what do you want to help people with? So for example, I love helping people with getting healthy, with making money, with building brands, but that spirals into so many different things. So what is that for you? And then the last part is, and this is also very, very important, you guys, what do you want to do with your money? Because at a certain point, usually when you don't have money, it's a big pain point, right? And I know I've definitely experienced that. I don't know if you have. But at a certain point, you have more than enough. And actually, if you start operating in that mindset right away, even now, even if you don't have more than enough, that's actually what attracts it to you. And then realizing that oftentimes, our lives, even though they're not perfect, someone else is actually praying for or wishing for. So when we reframe that and realize that there's people that, have a lot less, it becomes very different and our perspective changes. And so with that, operating from a sense of more than enough money. So years ago, I already started purposing my profits to help end homelessness, to help military vets, to help battered women, and to help end cancer. So that I know as things grow, number one, we always give back a minimum of 10%. Number two, more and more and more flows into that to even creating nonprofits. And if you click on our events page, part of our entire platform also serves as a fundraising platform where people can custom create or align a challenge or a retreat or an academy to fundraise. And so if you look on the event page also, there's a video from an event that we actually held here at this event space back in 2015 to create awareness and give back to homelessness in Atlanta. And you guys, and at the time, I didn't have any of this. I didn't have challenges, I didn't have retreats, I didn't have academies. I literally had Fit Life Creation just born as a baby, and I was doing Herbalife, and I had a consulting company where I was helping people with chief audit exec services and chief operating officer services. So I was already envisioning and manifesting and creating this way back when. So what is that for you, and where do you want to give back? So in summary, what do you want to create with the ways that you can serve? Who do you want to serve, and in what ways? What's your purpose? And then what do you want the money to go to? So setting that intention and setting that energy as well. So feel free to comment below. Feel free on what ahas you got. Would love to hear.
You can either do this as a group or you can do this on your own, depending on if you're listening to this at home. So first, I want you to think about what's the intention in your marketing. This means what energy and what feeling do you want people to feel when they look at your social media, when they look at your website, when they look at your blog. So for us and for me, the reason why we have colors of pink, blue, and green is very intentional. It's passion, it's purpose, and it's limitlessness, it's abundance, it's flow, and we want people to feel transformed and inspired. So what do you want people to feel with that intention? And I want you to journal and think about those things or to talk about it. And this exercise is even more powerful if you are doing it in a group. And the way I run this when I do this in group settings and group presentations is I first have people reflect on their own so that you listen to your own inner voice first. Then you share in the group, because what happens is if you share first, sometimes people's thoughts or opinions or perspectives can sway you and you lose your inner voice. And I know that from my own personal experience. So I would recommend, if you're doing this in a group, to first jot down, journal, and get clear on yourself first. Then I want you to glance at your social media. And I want you to think about, with that intention that you're thinking and that feeling you want people to think, is that displayed in your social media and in your website? And if you're hosting classes or events, is that displayed through the classes or events or workshops or things that you're doing as well? Can people find you on multiple platforms, social media platforms, course platforms, ebook platforms, numerous entrepreneurial sites? Is your heart equivalent to your hustle? Are you leaving anything out? So this goes back to your passion and purpose. Is there something that you love that you're not sharing? Is there something that's part of your purpose that you've overcome that you're not talking about? Could you be out there more? Could you pitch for more podcasts? Could you pitch for speaker opportunities? Could you submit different offerings for brands, for travel, for articles? What are some complementary channels? So I want you to think about lives. You guys, we live in a day and age that is absolutely incredible. We can do lives at the drop of a dime on social channels that are free. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I mean, you name it, we can do it. One of my main goals this year is to be live on a platform at least once a week, and then increase that once I get consistent. What channels are you on, as I illustrated? Think about ads, but I would suggest you think about ads after you exhaust all these multiple free avenues. And then think about collabs that you could do, whether it's other YouTubers, other Instagrammers, other Facebookers, other Twitters, whatever it is. And in the Smart Social section, I'm going to be talking about even more platforms, apps, different things that you can be on to generate even more collabs and community for people that are very like-minded and are looking for the same type of collabs and or brands. Just to give you an illustration, on one platform alone, I've generated over 300 responses in the past. You to think about now exponential growth, limitless growth. What do you offer people? What kind of value are you generating out there? Are you generating social media reach? Are you generating blogs? Are you generating ebooks? Are you generating lives? Are you generating expertise and insight on various platforms, whether it's podcasts, apps, brands, speaking, all kinds of things? Are you offering programs? Are you growing exponentially? And by that, I mean on every single platform that you're on, or always thinking about other ways to grow and never ever getting comfortable. How are you different? If you're a blogger or a coach or an influencer or whatever you are, how are you different? And this again, you guys, points back to the passion and purpose. By sharing your story and by sharing more of who you are, that sets you apart and draws even more your tribe to you. And so if you're not sharing those things, well, people don't know how you're different. And then you're also not necessarily building a very strong know, like, and trust factor. Do you offer empowerment and possibility? Do you offer solutions? So if you're a blogger, are you offering people insight and growth into how to build a blog, how you started a blog, how to set up collabs with brands? You know, a 1, 2, 3 ABC ebook, a 1, 2, 3 ABC course. If you're a coach, are you offering multiple value components for people to engage with you to grow your reach even more? What do your results look like? What bonuses are you offering to people that work with you to where your retention is crazy amazing? You guys, in several companies I've worked with, I've had retention rates of like 95% because I believe in always, always, always over delivering and trusting that God and the universe will give that back to you tenfold when you give it with a selfless heart. Do you offer more than social media, than events, than classes? So examples could be giveaways. You could do giveaways on social, on blogs, at events. How are you rewarding your tribe? Do you have a retention platform, a program, a referral program? What do your bonuses look like? Are you hosting events every single month to grow your tribe locally? All these different avenues to think about to grow exponential reach. And then are you leveraging, if you've got brand partnerships, are you asking them to say, hey, could we do a live event? Could we do some sort of giveaway? Could we do some sort of collaboration to fuse our mutually beneficial networks to serve more people? Or how about I teach your network how to do ABC 1, 2, 3? You guys, these are things I pitch and approach brands for all the time. And then I would recommend, before you dive into this section, press pause on the last section and journal to your heart's content there. And then when you're ready to dive into this section and come back. However, if you're now back, so welcome back, I want you to focus on here on passion and purpose expansion. So how do you serve? Do you serve by transformation of some sort? And you guys, we're all serving in transformation. Whether you're serving in health, whether you're serving in money, whether you're serving in social media, whether you're serving in business or all the above like we do, it's always focused on how can I get the person to the next level, whatever that is for them. And it goes back to recognizing the value from the things that you did when you started and the things that you learned, to then what are you learning now, and always, always, always giving and serving. Are you offering classes and events and programs? Are you offering things digitally and bundles? Are you hosting things in the community or in retreats? Are you doing givebacks and nonprofits? And are you acknowledging or thinking about ways that you can build and grow your tribe, coaches, ambassadors, whatever that is for you? So press pause if you're now going to be journaling on this section, and then come back. Now let's jump back into passion plus purpose equals profits and really tying into together. So I want you to really take some time and again, hit pause if you need to. Take everything in and go back and read what you jotted down from part 1, even in the initial video series if you're in the academy. And now part 2 so far. How is your focus and your flow? What I mean by that is, where are you possibly not spending time in some of the areas that I talked about? And then I would suggest mapping it out, calendaring it out, putting tentative dates or due dates into when you're going to do different things. How is your time and marketing? So we're going to talk about this even more if you're part of the club or the academy and Momentum Maker. And what I mean by this, you guys, is if you're spending, for example, 2 to 5 hours a day on email and social media, and that's not generating the bulk of your revenue, or you don't want it to generate the bulk of your revenue and you want to shift, well, that means you've got to adjust some things. So for example, I check email now 2 to 3 times a day, and then I take detoxes from email and social media on Wednesdays and on Sundays, unless they're automated posts. So that's the only thing you're going to see on those days posted, because that's intentional so that I know I've got space to let my mind clear. And then marketing, are you consistent? Are you consistently reaching out if you want to work with different brands, or if you want to grow your own brand and marketing your own stuff? Are you consistently reaching out if you want to do things with travel companies? So really thinking about your consistency if you want to attract more clients, so you can watch and see what we do. For example, once to twice a week, I'm sending out different things on blogs. Then I repurpose that content on multiple social channels. Then we're doing lives. Then we've got listings on podcasts. Then I've got freebies circulating all the time. Then I'm talking about the next live event, the next retreat, the 14-day free challenge. So there's always something in people's faces. So, and then how do you go from free to classes, to programs, to retreats, to academies? How are you building that relationship, you guys? It's all about know, like, and trust factor. And typically, unless people know you really well or they really, really, really want what you have, they're not going to dive into a program or an academy. They're going to most of the time start off with free or an intro offer. How and who do you market to? Are you crystal clear on who your target client is? Who's your ideal person that you're marketing to? How do you value your service? How do you make money and margins? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about passive income streams? And then again, if you're in the club or in the academy, we're going to talk about this in Moneymaker. And if you're not, I would highly recommend you go join our 14-day free challenge in the club to start. So thinking about social media, thinking about your collabs, thinking about marketing and your money. And marketing is really, you guys, just relationship and connection. Don't get so caught up in marketing and work. Just think about how you would relate and connect to a client. So how you would want to relate and connect to a friend. That's what I really, really, really want you to think about. And so I want you to press pause and I want you to journal all your thoughts on this. So remember, you are limitless, you are resilient, and you are priceless. You are capable of absolutely anything. So just to highlight, I want you to go back, reread all your notes, outline your plan, put it on your calendar, focus on who are